we have to go through here? What business have you with the Admiral's lift? Tea and crumpets on the bridge, is it? In possession of permission papers signed by the relevant authorities. Are you? The Admiral's official quarters are no place for sightseeing. If you seek the drowning wench, try the crow's lift over yonder. Hey, such a task was on the books. Was. Mind. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job investigating Sastasha? Yes. It would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbor, none the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter. The wheel will turn, and our chance will come. You are right, of course. But there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feasts of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal, large or small? It matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not to think stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, sir. Bye. Back then, are ye? With all your limbs and tail to tell, I wager. Fishbacks. And there I was thinking ye only have to crack a pirate skull or three. 7 hells. You turn your back for 5 bloody minutes, and the scaly bastards set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left him in pieces. So I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sastasha, of course. Any road, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on this mystery. You've lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for no more than that. Now, I'll bet you're dying for a rest. But just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the forest folk are in need of an adventurer who can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for ye. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, not here to dine? Dare I say that you're the adventurer veteran sent word about? You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mion, and the Carling Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mion, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward? And good evening to you too, Bow Lord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last. And one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to the Grenada in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gilmoran settlement, but we Grenadians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been skulking about the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Jalamad, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of the Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? Yep. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will apprise you of the latest developments. That is all. You're EnioHabev, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the calamity put an end to the Sixth Astral Era. The cultists took the Lesser Moon, Dalamud, for their god, believing that it would deliver them from devastation. The cultists took the Lesser Moon, Dalamud, for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation. And so, they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their fate. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamut are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. Alright, here you go. Commence. We got a light party. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do total flips again. Keep using that. Okay, the healers are doing a good job repairing me. Okay, there's certain attacks you need to avoid. Oh, I could have used the interject. Oh yeah, that's one thing I could have done. Okay, we're almost done with this guy. Woo! Did it. I don't know how that went, but at least we got through it. Welcome back, Enio. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Badron's ringing endorsement left me little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Bolard Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able such souls as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. Avery's gone, and it's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But they tried. He pulled it out of range before I could finish the spell. We shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah! To the hills with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving, and it'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye, and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel those days may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by way of some parting advice, get rid of Avery's head, bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it. But for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it. All right? Wait! Don't leave me alone, please. I'm so sorry, Avery. Please forgive me. Oh. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes 12 times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventures of your experience. I can send men like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much, at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. So, you're not averse to taking a little trip? Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Mubudi, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultaness version of myself. Yes, we know Mubudi. A lot, actually. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will put through unscathed. Now, off you go, Enio, and good luck. Welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you don't mind showing yourself to... Oh, it's you, Enio. And there I was, spouting the same tired line. Mio sent word that you're reported for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer for the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. What? You didn't come all the way to here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started. So, let's talk business, shall we? The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under that sun, and I would have been set afire. A tankard of ale, if you be so kind. Excellent timing, Papashan. It just so happens the adventurer who'll be handling your petition is here. Oh, why, if it isn't my good friend Enio, it does my spirit well to know that you are the one who will be helping us. Mayhap you like to apprise Enio of his mission? Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are of the clan known as the Hecatonchires, fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn Dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, my lady. The people of that age used the Hecatonchires to work their mines by way of enchanted helms. They were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will. But as is often the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hecatonchires, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels, so it was that the Great Giant Revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well, now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mitral Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines were being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like us not our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is a task which we have you undertake. It's not denied that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Yeah. Gods bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are in western Thailand. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amaginas and Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Misa, and he knows Copperbell mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So, you're the adventurers volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? You've got guts, mate. I just hope you've got skills to go with them, cause things ain't pretty down there. The Hekatuncheers had left the place in a right state, and nearly a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second Ul'dah dynasty was still young, but it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong! Our miners dug up more than what they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in a company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torches keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nations resting on you, friend. Best of luck. There's been an incident inside Copperbell mines. We are here to ensure its effects are contained. But for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from here. What? You're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell the Hekatuncheers? I didn't think that Papa Sheng would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Make ready as best you can, and enter at will. So, unlike Guild Wars 2, the game encourages you to do the story missions before you get access to them. I think that's a nice touch. So, ooh, that was quick. That was quick. There we go. Everyone's in. Yay. We get another chance at the dungeon. To the left. Whoops, I forgot the other party members. Yeah, my bad. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Whoops, that was my first death on a dungeon. Whoops. I thought I could interject, but that was too late. Slaves no more! Free! Free! Reminds me of the Doom 3 boss. Masters must pay, masters must die. Whoops. Yeah. Well, looks like we're doing good. There we go, we got it. Other than that one death, it went okay. Did it. Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operations can resume, and Ul'dah will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papashan the next time I see him. As for you, you want to report to Momodi. I'll do the woman well to see you alive in one piece. No! Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me. Don't even think to deny it. Please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. They call it the desperate damsel. I bought this. Pay for it with my own coin. What rot. You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a choice cut of dodo. I'm gonna say it one more time. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you wish you'd never set foot on this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass blades. You know, help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens. But I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in whatever capacity I require, the authorities didn't need to hear your crime. I did nothing wrong. 12 as me witness. Please, Avenger, help me, I beg of ye. I was serving me mother's grave, I did steal nothing. I bought this with the coin I saved. I only wanted to treat me children to a decent meal. And who the hells are you when you're at home? This dog's master? I've had enough of this mummer's farce. You lot, teach them a lesson. Let's do this. Iron Will, is Iron Will turned on? There we go. That was pretty straightforward. Bugger! I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Thank ye, kind adventure. Thank ye, thrice over. Oh, we get another dream sequence. Another dream sequence. I'd swear there were more refugees than when I last looked. And you wouldn't be mistaken. But it's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate after by the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. The residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from trade routes, and problems like those aren't really easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? Is the same thing happening in the other cities? If the talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation is more pronounced. Ul'dah has a reputation for being prosperous, so it's natural that the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them. It truly does, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't apprehensive. I hope their presence doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. Well, if things don't take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes of what the Garlean Empire patrolling the streets for riffraff? It may well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. You know what this place is like. If you have no coin, you have no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins! Get your Dodo tenderloins! Guaranteed cheapest in Danaland! Thank you for your custom, madam. Please come again. Looking around, you think that Ul'dah was well on its way to recovery. But peer through the veil of prosperity and you see no end to the misery and suffering. So she was telling the truth? Sir, are you alright? I am fine now. What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? Yeah. What? Saw her buy that meat? You say? That's absurd. Yeah. Aye, as did I. Leave the poor woman alone, you damnable vulture. Who said that? I will overlook this, but just this once. God's bless ye, adventurer. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what that monster might have done. It don't bear thinking about. All's well that ends well. We meet again! Pray do not mistake my intent, for it is always honorable. But I've been watching you ever since you departed Ul'dah. You played the part of envoy to perfection, confident as a man on a diplomatic mission should be, yet unfailingly courteous to your betters. And when your travels led you to the midst of danger, you faced it without so much as a flinch. You, my friend, are quite a marvel, and I confess to being somewhat in awe of you. But my lavish praise continues most of all. I was struck by your readiness to aid on those in need, even when words were all the reward you could expect to receive. Such selflessness is a rare thing in this day and age. All of which leads me to conclude that you are indeed the one whom I've been looking for, and an adventurer possessed of a very rare set of qualities. To be sure, your rescue of that damsel in distress was more of a happy accident. But rescue her you did, and that is what matters in the end. I feel I should mention at this point that I also harbor a burning interest in a certain talent of yours. I speak of your visions. You have been experiencing visions, have you not? Well, it just so happens that I know a woman who shares your talent, and I can help you understand it. She and I belong to the same organization, and we should both be delighted beyond words if you would agree to join our cause. Naturally, there are benefits to being such a part of a collective. For one, we should be glad to assist you in realizing your potential as an adventurer. You need not to give me answer now. You need not give me your answer now. Think upon it. And if you feel moved to help us, as I pray you shall, speak with Moody, the ever lovely and youthful mistress of the quicksand. Tell her the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have found their man, and she will tell you where to find us. Seems like that are becoming ever more common, I'm afraid. Don't worry though, if you work hard, you'll probably be alright. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pestering me every time you raise your knee, eh? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of a gentleman's woes with the women folk from time to time. Ah, Enio, sorry to keep you waiting. I was just providing guidance to our fresh-off-the-carriage adventurer. But gods, it's good to see you safe and well. To look at you, no one would ever guess you'd been hard at it with the giants in the dark. I never doubted for a moment that you'd succeed. Of course, and neither did Papa Shan, which ain't to say he won't be overjoyed. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but hearing her description, I knew who she meant right away. Thank you for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while now. She's the one from earlier, from the other continent, I think. My name is Ida. I'm an adventurer like you, though I'm not very good at being one, if truth be told. Anyway, I was adventuring with my friends in Gridania I'm sorry, we were in Gridania when the leader of our party was killed. His name was Avir, and he and I were to be wed in the spring. You may not remember him, but say that he remembered you would be an understatement. He would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you were. You see, an adventurer's adventurer, and swore that he would be like you one day. I believe that he would have succeeded had a fiend not robbed him of the chance. Since that day, I have thought long and hard about giving up adventuring. But when I think of the man you are, of all that you've achieved, I find that I'm inspired, just as Avir once was. And so, I've decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin my training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, to ask you your name. EnioHabev is my name. EnioHabev, I shan't forget. Thank you, EnioHabev. I pray that we'll meet again. Fare you well. Adventuring can be a cruel, bleeding business. Time was. I didn't know why anyone would bother. When they first asked me to take charge of the guild here, I didn't want to do with you a lot. Thought it'd be a right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be a part of your lives. And that goes double for yours, Enio. Yeah? What did you say? You want to know about the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in in earnest, then. Listen, the Scions ain't no ordinary folk. And the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are. But even you would think twice about attempting some of the stuff they do. Knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. Enya, I must apologize for my earlier behavior. As first sword, my duty is not only to foster your growth as a gladiator, but to also protect you from dangers you're not ready to face. I did not know that Leovold had become the leader of the Alakran. Had he chosen to bury steel at us, many and more of us would not have returned alive. I need to know why he's turned to a life of crime. And so, I've ordered my best men to scout the island for any trace of his whereabouts. Unfortunately, one of them has disappeared. I have strong suspicions that he has been taken prisoner by the Alakran, or worse. If there is any hope of saving him, we must act quickly. I would have you search for our missing comrade. His last report stated that he was trekking the Alacran near the Hammers in western Thailand. If you go there, you may yet find some clues to his fate. I've been far too reckless in recent days, and let too many good gladiators come to harm. Please, Enio, find our missing comrade and bring him home safe. It's a trap, brother! That's it. That's some fine swordsmanship, Enio. Milla, the first sword certainly knows how to pick 'em. Even after all these years, I can't quite bring myself to call her that. See, I still remember even when her father first brought her to the Hild. A wee lass who cried at the sight of naked steel. But to look at her now, you'd swear she was born with a blade in her hand. Not like she had much of a choice but to rise to the occasion. Though, what with all that trouble Aldous got into 7 years ago, selfish bastard, he should never. But enough of my rambling. I'll make my way back to Old after a short rest. You go on ahead and tell Mila that I'm fine. Thank the gods you're all right. I heard all about the ambush at the Hammers. Excellent work. You've been invaluable to the guild, and I can't thank you enough. In fact, I believe you deserve a much-needed rest. Take some time for yourself and return when you've recuperated. But before you go, speak with Lulutsu. I believe she has a message for you. Ah, Enio, the very gladiator I was seeking. Lean closer, for I would not have the others hear my words. Aldous sends his regards and requests you meet him at the Lich Yard in Eastern Thailand. Naturally, I've not divulged this information to the First Sword. As you may have gathered from their previous interactions, she's still rather upset with him and would likely forbid any further association. Quite understandable, since he was clearly being groomed to become the next guildmaster before that horrible scandal. They would have made such a lovely couple. Forgive me. This is hardly an appropriate topic of conversation. Anyway, you have my word that the First Sword will not hear of any rendezvous from me. And where have you been? Busy drowning in some sweet young thing's eyes? Well, if that's the case, I understand completely. It's been 7 years since Mila's father was laid to rest here. He was mean and stubborn. An old Algo through and through, but gods, when he danced with his sword in hand, it was pure poetry in motion. Mila's right. There was no way I could know what it was like for her back then, forced to replace her father under such terrible circumstances. And who might you be? Another of Leovold's lackeys? Master Leovold has been most distressed since learning of your return. This is unacceptable. Your master does not deserve your loyalty, kitten. When you've outlived your usefulness, he'll dispose of you like so many others. Believe me, I speak from personal experience. Say what you will, I will not be swayed. She looks awfully determined to kill me. Still, not really in the mood to play. Mind stopping her, Enio? Yeah. Almost there. There. You've gotten stronger. Good. I'm glad Mila has a man like you to rely upon. She's her father's daughter, a leader of men, a true warrior, and an obstinate woman who lets her feelings crowd her judgment. Which is why she needs to be surrounded by dependable people who will give her good counsel and keep her temper in check. Now more than ever. Stick by her. She needs you more than she knows. She needs you, Aldous. Haven't you listened to a word I said? She needs dependable people. In case you haven't noticed, I'm anything but. I'm only here because of unfinished business. When it's settled, there'll be no reason left for me to stay. I owe it to her, old man, to put an end to this. To give him peace in Tao's realm while making that bastard Level finally answer for his crimes. Remember what I said, Enio. Now go. She's probably wondering where you are. Why are you staring at me like that, Enio? Is something the matter? You're behaving rather oddly. Well, I'm afraid I have no news regarding the Alakran's movements. I remain confident that we'll find them soon. Though, so keep your blade sharp. So, you want to know more then, do you? Well, ain't that a surprise? I swear, if I painted certain death on one door and limitless wealth on another, 9 out of 10 adventurers would go through the first. And the other bloke wouldn't be able to choose, on account of being Ul'dah. Anyway, don't say I didn't warn you. First of all, if you're wondering whether you can trust these signs of the Seventh Dawn, you can. They're good people who made it their mission to solve some of ARR's most pressing problems. Of course, that ain't no small task, and so they're always looking for dependable individuals to join them. Individuals like you, Enio. Now, I've been given leave to tell you where to find the Scions, but you must promise to keep this information to yourself. As you can probably imagine, it's something ARR's enemies would very much like to know. The Scions are headquartered in Vesper Bay, out in Western Townland. The place you're looking for is called the Waking Sands. Give your name to whoever's at the entrance, and you'll be let in. You're a man in demand, Enio. The days ahead promise to be busy, but I hope you won't forget your old friend Moody. Drop in and tell me how you're faring from time to time, you hear? Right. Well, I've said my piece. Off you go. Deep in the desert of my heart, a lonely flower blooms. Yearning for the heavens above to quench my thirst for you. I would thank you to not to sneak up on me like that. Now, please be advised that this is private property. Unless you have pertinent business here, I must ask you to... Here at the behest of Thancred. My sincerest apologies. May I please have your name? EnioHabev is my name. EnioHabev. Ah, here you are. I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands, headquarters of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. My name is Tataru, and I look forward to assisting you during your time with us. And the antecedent is within the cellar. I shall let her know to expect you. I take it you are EnioHabev. Tataru sent word that you had arrived. Lady Minfilia has eagerly awaited your coming. This way, if you please. So, you are the adventurer of whom I've heard so much. Well met, friend. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have waited your coming. Please, be at ease. You are among friends here. Hi. No doubt you're ripe to burst with questions, but have patience, all will be revealed in time. First, let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do. We are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, an order that transcends political boundaries. Our single objective is the preservation of the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Their existence is a bane upon Eorzea, nay, the world at large, and we have striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they pose. Our order is home to a number of individuals who, like you, possess a rare and special talent. This talent takes various forms, but one holds particular interest for us. Now, tell me, have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable loss of consciousness? Have you ever had the sensation of being pulled away from reality? Felt as though you were hovering in space, a mind without a body? All these things are the manifestations of your talent. Yours is the power to transcend the boundaries of the soul, a power known as the Echo. The Echo allows you to pass through the walls of a man's soul and hear the resonations of this past. You will be there in his memories and see things as he saw them. You may even interact with what you see, though you cannot change the outcome of events. For another blessing, the Echo will enable you to know a man's mind, even if you cannot comprehend his words. In short, the Echo is a truly extraordinary power, and this power is strong within you. It is only a shame that we cannot use it whensoever we choose. That's right. I too possess the Echo. With that established, let us return to the subject of the primals. So long as they exist, the realm cannot take so much as a single step towards true peace. Measures must be taken, measures which transcend boundaries, be they of faction, race, language, or creed, and to do so, the Scions require the aid of those with our talent. Make no mistake, the Echo will be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. Without it, we cannot hope to save the realm. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea, but I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Why else would the gods entrust a man with a gift so extraordinary, if not to have him use it? And so, I implore you, lend us your power. Naturally, your aid will not go unrewarded. We are fortunate to have a number of influential allies, and at a word from me, they will gladly afford you of certain privileges that might otherwise be denied you. The right to employ retainers, for example. Are you familiar with them? They are individuals who may be relied upon to manage your assets and belongings on your behalf. The papers you requested, my lady. Thank you, Tataru. The pleasure is mine, my lady. By way of a welcoming gift, I have taken the liberty of adding your name to the retainer's registry. As of now, you are entitled to employ the services of a retainer. You'll need to consult a retainer vocat regarding the particulars of this arrangement. But believe me, when I say that retainers will prove invaluable to you, believe me when I say that retainers will prove invaluable to you in your adventuring endeavors. Let this gesture serve as evidence of our commitment to do all in our power to facilitate your personal objectives. In return, we ask that you aid us to the fullest extent of your talents. A mutually beneficial relationship, I am sure you will agree, and one which serves the greater good besides. Well, that was a veritable lecture, was it not? Forgive me, but it is important that all concerned are aware of what is expected of them. Now, you know our purpose and what we can offer you. I invite you to consider joining us. When you have come to a decision, you may tell me without fear of censure. In good faith, I shall entrust you with our order's password. which our members use to reach another winter field. It is Wild Rose. Pray keep it safe. We Scions have but one objective: to safeguard the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Long have we striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they pose. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea, but I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Pray consider this when you give me your answer. Anyhow. I take it you will help us. Wonderful. I knew you wouldn't let us down. But come, I would introduce you to your friends in the Order. Tell me, does the name Sharlayan ring any bells? It used to be one of Eorzea's 6 city-states and was situated in the northwest of Aldenard. The Sharlayans were the keepers of wisdom, both old and new. Their mastery over magic and aether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Among their number, there were noble few who devoted their lives to safeguarding the future of Eorzea. When the realm began its descent into chaos, and their countrymen fled for their motherland, they alone chose to remain here. These noble men and women were called the Archons. Those same brave souls stand before you now. The masked woman is Ida, and beside her is Papalumo. The two are charged with surveying the 12's wood. Hello there. Welcome. Okay, my turn to introduce someone. That there is Thancred. He is our man here in Ul'dah, Jewel of the Desert. Welcome to the team. I never doubted that you'd come. If I may, the lovely maiden beside me is named Ishtola. Lominsa has the pleasure of being under her care. Greetings. Last but not least is Urianger, who presides over all affairs within these halls. Pray seek him out whenever you have any questions. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. The words of a dear friend. I am glad of our meeting. At the Battle of Carginu, our leader was taken from us, but we did not stray from our purpose. We sought out Minfilia and others with our talent, and together established the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Along with the Archons, those blessed with the Echo play a pivotal role in our endeavor to forge a brighter tomorrow for the realm. Oh, I should also introduce you to Tataru, our clerk. She ensures that everything runs smoothly. Pleased to make your acquaintance. In time, I hope you will come to think of us as family. But without further ado, I would assign you your first task. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Beldizion? Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently. You have received a request for aid from the Immortal Flames. Thancred, would you do the honors? It would be my pleasure. Some days ago, a crystal caravan registered to Amagina and Sons mineral concern was waylaid and divested of its cargo. But there's more. Within a bell of the robbery, several people were reported missing from the shantytown outside the city. At a glance, one would assume the involvement of bandits, kidnappers, and coincidence. Such crimes are hardly uncommon, and the Immortal Flames deal with their like almost every day. However, this time I have no reason to believe that Rama was involved. Whoops. Wait, I think I accidentally missed a line there. Whoops. My bad. Aye, the evidence left behind implicates the Amalja, who are known worshippers of Ifrit. If we didn't consider the objects that were taken, there is no room left for doubt. The crimes were committed in the name of a primal. That you may better understand the nature of our struggle with the primals, I would have you play the leading role in this investigation. You have my thanks. If there is aught you wish to know, I recommend you speak with Thancred. He is well versed in the affairs of Ul'dah. Ever at your service, dear fellow. Ready to begin, are we? That's the spirit. So then, your mission is to investigate a crystal robbery and a spate of abductions. Crime which we believe to be connected. Assuming we are correct, it is like that any discoveries we make in relation to one will further our understanding of the other. Now, since the attack on their caravan, our friends at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern have double security over all their shipments. In light of this, it is my judgment that the abduction should be our priority. According to our preliminary findings, the majority of the missing were last seen in the vicinity of Camp Drybone, so that would seem a fine place to begin. A fellow by the name of Isembard serves as the camp's de facto leader. Pay him a visit, and see that he gives us his full cooperation. I'm Isembard, here to search for the missing folk, I take it. Minfilia sent word that an adventure fitting your description would be along. She also warned us to be wary of the Amalja. Seems we know the culprits at the very least. Now, I bear no official title at this camp, but the people here have come to look for me for leadership. You have my word that I'll do all I can to help see the victims safely returned. Let us get right to it then. Minfilia names the Amalja culprits in all this. You would do well to investigate them first. Much harm has been levied on these lands by Amalja hands. The flames burn where they might, but their light cannot stay in the darkness in all places at all times. There have been brutal murders of callers at the church of Setamad Dama Landama, innocents wishing no more than to pay their respects to the dead. The poor souls deserve a proper burial. I would see to the deed before mongrels cast their scent, but I know not if the Amalja still linger. Would you secure their remains for me, friend? You will find them on the eastern road. 12 willing. You may even come to learn something of what the Amalja seek in this area. It is good to see you returned. Were you able to secure the remains of our fallen? I have corpse. This poor soul appears to be read to Amalja before seeing it. Oh. With the bodies given back proper to the earth, the souls will find their way across to the other side. You have done a noble deed this day. I thank you. Now then, what of the Amalja? Did you see any? Surely such massive monstrosities as they cannot conceal their presence, much less take their quarry unawares. So there were Amalja remaining. After all, I feared as much. Their part in the lowbone disappearing is all but confirmed. But I sense there is more to this than meets the eye. The occasional Amalja raiding party would not account for people going missing in these kinds of numbers. The total is too great, and the questions missing, and the questions too many. It would not surprise me in the least to learn of another hand in this. But whose? Countless travelers pass through Drybone every day. Even if it were one of them among them, how would we best discover who may be implicit in these vanishings? What say we turn an eye into the common folk themselves? It may be among them that we find the reasons for these vanishings. 12 forbid it be so. There is a merchant by the name of Ungust who was born here in Drybone and grew up in the Golden Bazaar. A rough character, but he knows the people here better than anyone else. I'd wager he's at the inn, fluffing away the day's earnings. Hell, I'll write a note for you to show him, else he's not like to speak to you. Well, gods be damned! You, that bloody adventurer, threatened me back in Ul'dah. What in 7 hells do you want me now? Dear friend, missing people, please help. Yours, Isembard. Folks are around here as weird as they come. They'll turn tail and run if you so much as pass wind nearby. Play them all for fools and coax some hard labor out of them. I did. anything, they're even more timid than before. With all the disappearances, you can go talk to him yourself if you don't believe me. I have nothing to say but this. Tao, take who or whatever's been feeding us off low folk. What do you want from me? I don't know anything. I swear, please don't kill me. Just as I told you, wasn't it? All of them were terrified. There's been a folk tale of folk getting abducted. But if you ask me, I simply up and moved on to a better place. This place isn't exactly Costa del Sol, if you know what I'm saying. Welcome back, Enio. Have you learned of import? I see. I suppose I should have expected as much from Ungust. Well, another thought occurred to me in your absence. The common folk are nothing if not fervent in their religious beliefs. Perhaps if they speak freely to their gods, then the clergy may know of something of use. If we would know what the common folk speak of their gods, we have no better place to ask them than at the Church of Saint Adama Landama. It is a small and humble church, founded on the northwest of here. And so long as you've headed there, when I ask you to live with this embalmed corpse, a moment of request, I grant you. But it must be born to burial, and I trust none more than you to see it done. Seek out a man named Marquis. He tends the graves of the lich yard. He will tell you where the body is to be interred. I am Marquis, yes? A body? Of course. There have been so many bodies of late. I apologize, sir. If you seek a place of burial, then there is an empty grave atop the ridge. Take the path and lay him to rest there. Whoa, that looks gorgeous. That looks beautiful. There's nothing telling me to put it on the ground. Oh wait, Link? Oh, there we go. That was weird. May they all walk in Thal's realm. What? Missing people? I'm afraid I cannot help you. But maybe Sister Orksen can. She's been kind to me. Everyone has been so kind. I don't know why, though. Pardon me. You will find Sister Orson within the church walls. I hear you have done us a service of bringing a fallen soul. Please accept our gratitude and extend it to Isembard when next you see him. You seek knowledge of missing dryboard inhabitants? It is true, I am closer to the people than any other of the order. I confided them, and they in me. When they wish to speak to their keeper, Thou, I am the medium through which they do. Should I learn anything pertinent, I'll be sure to share the information with you. I only wish Marquis would be more helpful in the matter. I pray he did nothing to offend. He saw terrible things during the calamity. His scars run deep. Indeed, he seems to not prefer the company of the dead over the living. While tragic, I fear such behavior ill befits the church. I received word not long ago that one of our recent visitors, a man called Thancred, I believe, took offense at his conduct. I must have words with Marquis, and soon. Thank you, Enio. A burial is no easy thing, even when the departed is a stranger. Were you able to learn aught of the missing common folk? You've been keeping yourself out rather busy of late, haven't you, Enio? A pleasure, my dear Isembard. The name is Thancred, and I share a passion with you and our mutual friend here for learning what has become of these missing persons and why. I, too, spoke with Ungust more times than I care to count. There seems to be some truth to this notion of the common folk speaking these secrets only to those in service to the gods. Prostration, prayer, penance, abject deeds done behind closed doors, away from prying eyes. Who better to take the pierce unawares than she who takes confession? The good sister Orson herself? Orson? She wouldn't. She couldn't. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns, my friend. And you would be wise to keep an eye to this rose. Still, The Leechkeeper Marquis. I'd swear to the 12 I've seen that face elsewhere before. Sister Orsen. It cannot be. Though she is wont to travel to the Golden Bazaar on her own, and it is uncommon to see her speaking to the children. But no, it could not be. She? Could it? I grow weary of these suspicions. I know there is one child in particular that she's fond of. Pray seek out the boy, and see if you cannot glean something from him about Orse's activities. Please help! Sister Ursin went out all on her own and hasn't come back. She always reads to me right here, about Tal and the Order on the other side. I told her I lost my shiny thing, and she went looking for it, but what if the monsters outside hurt her? Please find her! That's it. You are the one from the church. Thank goodness you arrived when you did. Since my gratitude is yours yet again. You spoke with the child? Yes. Well, I was able to find his lost trinket. It is a ring given to him, given by his mother before she passed. I will see it safely back to him. Sister Orson was attacked at the Golden Bazaar? God's forfend, I will secure a room at the inn for her, should she require any rest. Searching for the mementos of orphans? And risking her own well-being in the doing, no less? Certainly not the dastardly deeds Thancred would have us believe. I'm well glad I reserved that inn room for Sister Orson. It seems she has received greater injuries from her attackers than she initially let on. Thankfully, she is expected to make a full recovery. But now on to the matter at hand. Thancred came looking for you once more. He left that he will be waiting at the Amalja encampment to the southeast. I pray the two of you are able to uncover some evidence regarding these disappearances. Ah, there you are, so good of you to come. Indeed, I've heard all about good Sister Orson. Isembard said her wounds were serious. It would seem my suspicions about the poor Rose were misplaced. But, false though they were, perhaps my suspicions were not entirely without merit. Whilst following Sister Orson near the Golden Bazaar, a band of Amalja caught my eye. I tracked them as far as this encampment, but, well, I'm gonna say that I would much prefer to keep my distance and remain here. This, of course, brings me to why I requested you, dear Enio. Would you be so kind as to take a look inside? Wait, that's it? Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and have a duel with these things. There we go. Well, did anything tickle your fancy? Oh! There we go. Well, did anything tickle your fancy? This leaflet. See the wealth of knowledge to the hands of your children. It looks to be some sort of assembly to provide the poor with work. The lettering, though, atrocious, is it not? These bits about Naldatal seem somewhat less than studied. I find it hard to believe one among the Order penned this. Pray take this to the end of the Camp Drybone. Let us see what Sister Orson makes of it. My savior comes again. To what do I honor this day? What is this? Blasphemous. These are not our teachings at all. This was not made by any true brother or sister of the Order. Of that, I can assure you. Come to think of it, weeks ago, the church was plagued by missing garments. Is somebody posing as a priest of the Order to deceive the people? Alright, Thancred should be nearby. Thancred was right there. How did I miss it? The plot thickens, Enio. Our culprit pretends to be a priest to lend credence to his deception. There is no doubt an irony in there somewhere. But I suspect we have a worthy adversary on our hands. I shall consider how best to handle this. For now, tell Isembard what we have learned here. Posing as a priest? To think. These troubling notions aside, it is gratifying to finally be able to move this investigation forward. Thank you once again, Enio. I shall keep my ears and eyes open, now more than ever. I'm afraid I have not seen any unusual activity, nor have any at this camp given me cause to doubt them. But unless we can identify the culprit, and soon, more innocents will fall victim. Do not despair just yet, my friend. An idea occurs to me. Our suspect has been posing as a priest, using leaflets bearing false promises to lure the poor. Let Inia and me serve by posing as impoverished souls in need of a succor. Ah, I dare to hope that this will yield us the answers we seek. It'll be a dangerous undertaking, but you two are more than capable of looking after yourselves. I'm next to useless in a battle, but I can supply the garments for the disguise. These old tunics and slops should serve your deeds, so long as you don't mind the smell and the stains. These will serve very well. You have my thanks. This will serve very well. You have my thanks. Listen, so as to lay the foundation for our little ploy, we must make it widely known that more vagrants have arrived at the camp and are desperate for coin. To this end, I want you to don the old garments Isembard has lent us and beg for work around the camp. Before long, the false priest should catch wind and approach us. I preach the teachings of Azima, the warden. Hast thou come to partake of the honey of her wisdom? Azima is keeper of the sun and a goddess of inquiry. All is laid bare beneath the light of her divine countenance. Open thy heart to this light, needy child, and thou shalt want for naught till the end of days. And you are... another refugee by the looks of you. The immortal flames have neither work nor coin for your like. Be gone and see to it you don't make a nuisance of yourself. And I was about to get to the good part. Looking for work, you say? Sorry, but we don't have any openings. Now get out of here so I can finish my story. Greetings, good sir. Is there all I might assist you with? Oh, I don't believe there is. I'm afraid our wares are very expensive. Mayhap you should rejoin your fellows out of the pond north of Sandgate. Gods, not again. Look, being poor doesn't give you the right to pester whomsoever you like. What did you keep with your own kind now by that muddy pond of yours at Drybone? You have quite a knack for being a nuisance, Enio. That camp is abuzz with talk of newly arrived vagrants. And though we were unable to attract our wayward transgressor, we were able to learn that the poor have a commune by the pond north of Sandgate, to the east of here. The eyes of the authorities do not reach that place, rather ideal for spiriting away hapless souls. Let's go there and wait for the kindly priest to come and offer us aid and comfort. Needless to say, you'll need to remain in disguise. A fine morning for catching false priests, wouldn't you say? You look absolutely smashing, Irio. Positively dressed for deception. All that's left, then, is to wait for our quarry to appear. Oh, you poor unfortunate souls. This is no way for men to live. No way at all. Who are you? What do you want? Be at ease, child, for I mean you no harm. I am a priest of the Order of Naldatal, and I come to offer you succor. This leaflet bears the teachings of Nald. Trust to them, and they will surely set you free from the shackles of penury. A tempting offer, but I'm afraid I must decline. On account of that atrocious performance, you would have made a god's awful murmur, Ungust. What? How did you know? You bastards tricked me. Please don't hurt me. I was only doing it to protect my people. Is that so? Do continue. Very well. I'm a man of the Golden Bazaar, raised there, if not born. Some moons ago, the Amalja raids began. They would appear sudden as a sandstorm and plunder and pillage at will. Our defenders couldn't stand against them, few as they were. Everyone lived in fear. I wanted to save my people, but being a merchant was all I knew, and So I did the only thing a merchant could. I approached the Amaljas in hopes of brokering a deal. In return for sparing the Golden Bazaar, they made demands. Outrageous ones. Demands? Of what kind? Pray tell. First of all, they wanted a schedule for crystal shipments from the Nanawa mines. For this, I bribed one of the workers to leak me the information. Next, they wanted me to bring them people. So I posed as a priest to learn them vulnerable and give them over to the Amalja. I didn't have a choice. Protecting one's home is a noble thing, but at the cost of innocence? You could have sought the aid of the immortal flames, yet you did not. I suspect you're not telling me the full story. What made you sell out your own people? Speak! Was good. What did you say? The coin was good, I said. I could sell the mole meat for a score of lifetimes and not even see a fraction of what the Amalja pay me. You sacrifice innocence so that you could line your own pockets? Words fail to express the contempt I feel for you. Spare me your contempt. If you want to blame someone for the mess of the world's in, then blame yourselves or the gods. Ugh, not you again. Were you the one leaking the Immortal Flames patrol routes to the enemy as well? Spit it out. No, I know nothing about that, I swear it. At this stage, I'm rather disinclined to believe aught that leaves your mouth. But no matter, there'll be time enough to learn the truth. Enio, be a good man and take word of these developments to Minfilia. Would you? Yeah. I shall prize everything I can out of this filth. The abductees are still out somewhere out there. Our foremost priority is to rescue them. Definitely some sensitive issues on this starting out story. Welcome back, Enio. I am pleased that you and Thancred have been getting along. I see. You have done well to uncover the truth. My thanks for the report. As Thancred said, we must ascertain where the abducted were taken, and none but the Amalja know the answer. Suffice it to say, they will not willingly part with this information. I fear blood will be spilled before all is said and done. Alright. Let's continue, and this time we get a weapon coffer. Okay. Though we seek a peaceful solution to the primal problem, we must needs be ready to fight for our cause. That you might take to the field suitably prepared, I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is Mutamix Poblipots, and he is a scholar of no small repute. Mutamix is renowned for having introduced a revolutionary method of enhancing equipment to Eorzea. The knowledge of this method was once a closely guarded secret, but thanks to Mutamix and his students, it has now been disseminated to the great benefit of all the realm. It would serve you well to acquire an understanding of the process. For this purpose, I shall lend you a blade. Take it to the Mutamix, and I bid him use it to demonstrate his craft to you. Mutamix is ever to be found at his camp in Central Townland, a place known as the Bonfire. Look for a pillar of smoke, and the way will become clear. Fifth fighty tool drinks in ourself. When full of ourself, fighty tool changes to stony shine. Name of materia. If materia join with the other fighty tool, then Big's Eyes, 50 tool gains power of ourself. Psh, shoo. Mutamix is reckoning that Uplander is friend of Minfilia. Yeah. Yes, tongue flaps reach ears of Mutamix with fastness. Minfilia wants Uplander to see power of materia. Uplander brings 50 IT tool to Mutamix, yes? Shoo! Fighty tool is unstrong as eating tool. May good teachy show power materia. The materia, master. Now, eyes of Uplander point at Fighty tool, yes. Psh! Psh! Materia joined with Fighty tool. Yay! Fighty tool gains power materia. Fighty tool reborn. Here, Uplander, take Fighty tool Mephilia. Materia, strictly speaking, is a kind of crystal. It is created by drawing out the etheric constituents from a piece of equipment and then crystallizing them. Not just any old equipment will serve, mind you. We must have sufficient spirit bond, that being a measure of how fully an item has been endued with its owner's spirit. When you attach a piece of materia to gear, you imbue the host item with its power. That's how Master Mitawik turned that dagger of yours from Samat, as would have struggled to cut stake into weapon worth wielding. Sure, Uplander wishes to be joiner of materia. Then Uplander best fill brain case with knowings of crafty making. With knowings of crafty making, Uplander can become joiner of materia. If Uplander wants brain case to rattle with knowings of materia, Uplander best trade tongue flash with learning ones of Mutamix. Welcome back, Enio. I trust your visit to the bonfire proved you fruitful. Ah, what a remarkable difference a single piece of materia can make. Granted, the skills needed to manipulate the substance are not easily acquired, but one need only look upon the results to realize such efforts are worthwhile. As I am sure you are aware, the quality of one's equipment can be the difference between victory and defeat. Materia may well give you the edge you need, Enio, so make it your ally. Now, it is time we discuss the matter of your next mission. Pray speak with me when you're ready to begin. Word has arrived from Thancred concerning our ongoing investigation. It appears he is able to extract some information from our friend Ungust, the false priest. He revealed that he is due to meet with Amalja to discuss your dealings. The Immortal Flames believes that the meeting will present an ideal opportunity to ambush and capture the Amalja responsible for the abductions. And so, they meet to have Ungust enter as planned. And as the Amalja are anticipated to offer fierce resistance, the Immortal Flames have requested our support. I would have you provide it to them, Enio. The Thancred is presently attending to another matter, but will join you as soon as he is able. Till such time as he does, you will be the Scion's sole representative on the ground. Before he left, he begged me to tell you to save some for him. Such is his confidence in you, a confidence I share. When you are made ready, pray take yourself to Camp Drybone and report to the Flame Sergeant leading the mission. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Ah, you're EnioHabev of the Science. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Amalja and prize from the whereabouts of the abductees. The lizardmen aren't aware of that their man Ungust has been exposed. When they come to the rendezvous point to meet the traitor, we'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count. So we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Please make your way there and lie in wait. We stand to learn much and more of the Amalja plot if the mission succeeds, Enio. Let's make sure it does. Is the bait in place? Our man is in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Amalja appear. Yes, sir. What is the meaning of this? Wait, something's amiss. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the Immortal Flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Did you not wonder how I managed it? It was almost as if someone was feeding him information from the inside. Aye, every movement was known to me ahead of time. Now, as much as I like to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. They're all yours. Oh, this is looking bad. Who is next? We almost got this guy. For some reason, I cannot use Rage of Hallown. Oh. Put up your weapon, or your comrade's a dead man. Behind you! Bring him. The rest of you, march. Traitorous scum. There we go. Lord of the Inferno, hearken to our plea. Lord of the Inferno, deliver us from our misery. O mighty Ifrit, Lord of the Inferno, your humble servants beseech you, grace us with your divine presence. O mighty Ifrit, we bring before you ignorant savages who know not your godhead. If it please you, Lord, scorch their hidden souls with your cleansing flame and mark them as your own. Bloody hells, bring those two as well. What's going on? This ain't what we agreed. None but servants of Lord Ifrit may behold the rite of summoning. The souls of unbelievers are forfeit. No, spare me, I beg you. Pitiful children of man, by my breath I claim you. Arise once more as my loyal minions. Feed my flames with your fate, and all who stand against us shall burn. Oh, mighty Ifrit. I want true God. Your words are my bread. Impossible. By what sorcery to resist my master's will? Could it be your soul already belongs to another? Yes, that is the only explanation. Forsooth, thy frail mortal frame can serve as vessel to the blessing of but one. Yet I smell not the taint of another upon thee. The truth of thine allegiance waxeth clear, the art of the godless blessed number, the paragon's warrant of thy abhorrent kind. Thine existence is not to be suffered. How many times do you have to do this? Break the nail. Break the nail. Wait a minute, wait a minute. There we go. This is the one I missed from earlier. I don't think I see any nail this time. Okay. Okay, this better be it. Whew. Thanks to that tip, we got the nail. Okay, we got another cutscene. Another gem. We saw something like this earlier in the game. So we got 2 gems. And we have the rest to get. Pray forgive my lateness. Well, thanks to that tip, we finally defeated the boss. I was delayed by a congregation of Amalja's zealots. I swear, each seemed more evangelical than the last. Persistent lot. I see the Bloodsworn wasted no time extracting the captives. No less than I'd expect from the Flames General's hand-picked men. As for those 2, it is fair to say their hardships have only just begun. They have much to answer for. I feel I owe you an apology, Enio. Had I known this mission would prove so dangerous, I would never have left you to face it alone. You would have been given a veritable baptism of fire. But let us continue this conversation in more agreeable surrounds. Camp Dryborn, shall we say? This way, sir. So that was the mighty Ifrit. What a disappointment he was. The readings are nowhere near what I anticipated, even taking Ul'dah interference into account. You should know better than to rely upon 5-year-old data left by the Villit Legion. Nor can we expect any form of support from the motherland, given the troubles at court. We have only ourselves to rely upon. Ever the pessimist, my dear Olivia. Promise me you'll never change. We've wasted enough time here. That meter of yours is too old to give any reading worth a damn. No, not that there was aught worth a damn for it to read, but I take your point. Suppose we must concern ourselves with the knowledge that we have achieved our primary objective. Yet I find that I'm troubled by that adventure's unexpected show of strength. Could such a foe prove hindrance to our plans? Perhaps. But that is a consideration for another time. You have been given a task. That is your priority. I suggest you treat it as such. Fail to do as my lord commands. and I will spare him the trouble of punishing you. With allies like that, beware a woman in love. I shall need to be my best behavior. Ah, there you are, Enio. Come, rest a while. You have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalja will be less inclined to risk a rat. For a time, at least. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me, or I'm too late to be any of use, to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds, for once a man is tempered. Ah, but it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand, no less. Actually, our hand. Thanks to that one player, Azura Yakamoto. If it wasn't for that, I would have known. Thanks to that person. That is the deed of no ordinary individual, Enio. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you had the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you not object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way, I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. You don't say. Take some time to relax, and return to the waking sands when you're good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. A late arrival nearly cost Enio his life. I wasn't there when the Amalja took him prisoner, and I wasn't there when they served him to Ifrit. Yes. By some miracle he survived, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed him utterly. Just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Enio, it is good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great. Yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear. And now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal, Ifrit. Nor is this the tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa, Lominsa, and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume Aether if they are maintain their presence here, and the stronger they become, the more Aether they require. Now, Aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of Aether: crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of Aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet, even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remain unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though greater power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. Ah, the immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath. So you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take a full advantage of the respite, Enio. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you'll have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, I've been feeling neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I am sorry to report that all are to be put to death. The flames with who you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you, we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal, whom he cannot choose but worship. And so, we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need to be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Enio. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. Oh, that's sad. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Luxos would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested Primal Ifrit. So, kind of like me in a way. I'm live streaming right now, not asking too much in return, though I still ask for it. But I still like to do this because I want to. So... you have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you'll soon discover. I can imagine. We have guests, Enio, or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons. Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I am given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero in their midst. I'm here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit Spain for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard of you. I find myself wondering how word of Enio's deed spread so quickly that the immortal flame should know of his triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Eep! Your reputation precedes you, Master Haviv. There's no ordinary man who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant men such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the 12's wood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Mr. Master Haviv. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Amalja and their dead primal, yours was already a respected name in Ul'dah. Our people know you and love you well. A man of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strengths to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let's see the grand vessel Limsa to the shores of glory. Lady Minfilia. Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Lominsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You'll be charged with the defense. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you're agonizing over which of the Grand Company best to serve your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your alliance at a later date, you're entitled to do so. And yet, I concede that it is no small choice you face. A thought occurs to me. You will, of course, recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make informed decisions. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Enio hear our leader speak, then return here with his decision. We eagerly await your answer. Huh. I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed and not best suited to disciplined military service, but I strongly urge you to join a Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Enio, and with it, you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention. Not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs to be on the lookout for them. Yet however vigilant you are but one man. In the midst of a Grand Company, however, you'll be one man amongst many. A friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, And so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you'll be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, Enio, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now, it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. He will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting, Enio. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often to a few too many people. Next time I'll be sure to hold my tongue. Literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect you to want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the three services, and Elder Caesar Kanisena will deliver address at Mick Keto's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all the lower parties, it's possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where Flame General Robin Aldine will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there's to be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Lominsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merwil Bluefwishin will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry, Xantel, and he'll admit you. Got all that? Crystal. Well, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order. Though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Farewell. There should be a character we have to speak to here. No? Oh, there it is. There it is. Our forebears were once strangers in the 12's wood, fearful of the green rat. They hid themselves in the dark recess of the earth, yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hure and the Elzen settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today. Do you see the Grenadian standard there, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer? The entwined spirit pins represent the unity between Hur and Elazin. An elegant symbol, do you not agree? In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Grenadians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelves Wood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cardino. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Grenadian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not only the tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrecoverably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Exile have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They taste our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us. On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory. And how do you propose to honor the memory of those who you cannot remember? Pray tell. The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet, while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelves Wood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet, harmony is the founding principle of Grenada. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored, not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. If you'll permit me, Alfinaud. No, let me try it again. If you'll permit me, Alfinaud. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrance in pursuit of enlightenment. The Grenadians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Silps, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with Grenadians. Until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Grenadians have no love for war, and they consider upon conflict at last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Silps, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelves Wood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Grenada vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Grenadians like it or not, sooner or later, it'll come to all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? I felt a little nervous reading that scene. I kind of tried my best.
Hark, you souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the old dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, whereby the grace and glory of Naldatal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah.
There, at the Flame General's back, flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of Ul'dah balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts of our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Carno, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Dal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into the 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You call this living? Dishonor the name of the immortal flames? It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Your Grace. Rauban.
People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Orzia to see. For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are by fire reborn.
Fancy meeting you again. The Oldens have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Oldens do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Oldans send their forces to smite the Primal. And though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, but the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be the most welcome addition to their ranks. For their sake, I hope that the Flame General's words struck a chord with you. It did. It did strike a chord with me. So far, that was my favorite thing to read. That was my favorite thing so far to read. It was well done. Here to attend the Remembrance service. Be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond."
Also, I want to point out, in the crowd scenes, they have the same sound effect of the "yeah" guy over and over again. Anyway. You look, as the Admiral bid you, it is a rather steering standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garland Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfer's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder, beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadion all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the reckless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore, seeking blood for their accursed god. While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go.
These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded, yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire boat and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened to expire it on Maelstrom and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark you well, a crew without unity is no crew at all, this but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all. Fancy meeting you again. Didn't you just say that earlier? As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. And the second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also... Let me try that again. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsan's backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. And while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Again, if the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, let me try that again. If the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. Enio, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands. It would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. I gotta tell you guys, if you're watching this live, or you're watching this on a recording later, that was probably the best moment I've had in this game so far. The gameplay I actually like also, but doing speeches like that, I think that's one of my strongest points. Because I like doing leadership in video games, and when I have the chance to do something like that, I try my best to do those dialogue justice, so hopefully you guys like that. Welcome back, Enio. Were the Grand Company's leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Yes. Hey, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Enio. But you must be tired from your journey. Kind of am, but I'm still going. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion, regardless. Brother, are you certain this course is best? Whatever you do mean, dear sister. The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies, as though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era weren't scarcely a mention. Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, may have you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us. Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails in this world, and I mean to find it. You're most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye. I should hope so. Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister. Hope does not come... Oh, let me try that again. Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together, or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew. Alright, we have to select a Grand Company. I don't know if this is gonna make a big difference on the story, but here we go. How was the Admiral's speech? But you need not explain. That you stand before me now is answer enough. You have resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Well, I dare say you have your reasons, but mark me, in stormy seas, the strong of arm and stout of heart must pull together or the vessel will founder. And when a ship goes down, the passengers always share the fate of the crew. Remember that. Welcome back, adventurer. I take it General Roban's words kindled a fire within you. It did. What? You cannot seriously be considering joining another grand company. Why? They are not nearly as grand as ours. Let's try the Serpent Officer now. Ah, I take it the Elder Seedseer's words have touched your heart. Have you resolved to entwine your destiny with that of the twin adder? Ah, forgive me. In my eagerness to embrace you as a brother, I mistook your intention. This is tough. I mean, again, without asking in the free company or looking this up, I don't want to look this up on the Final Fantasy wiki page right now, but playing this for the first time, I can easily see this game having a bit of a replay value. You start a new character, you go through the whole story again, and you pick a different one. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't have that much free time as of now. So this is kind of a big decision. So thankfully, even if you don't know the three nations at all, thankfully when you speak to one of these characters, at least they remind you who was speaking. So I am leaning more towards the Flame Officer and the Storm Officer. Serpent Officer is the Forest Nation, where they're not into wars. The Flame Officer and Storm Officer seem to be more or less the same in a way. This is an interesting decision. Again, I know what some people might say when they see this video later on, or might be thinking about this, and they already know what the spoilers are, but for me personally, I guess it comes down to personal preference. So I think I'm leaning either towards the Flame Officer or the Storm Officer. And the whole game overall, it did not really give us much to know about the two nations. Other than Ul'dah that we started out with, we didn't really get much information from the Serpent Officer and where the Storm Officers are from. Not much. Unless I guess it depends which character you choose. And then we start out with, you're gonna have the most connection with them. So I guess I just have to go with the one I started out with. And it'd be interesting to see what the cutscenes would have looked like if you had started out with a different nation. Again, replay value. But again, I don't think I have that much free time. So again, I guess I have to go with the Flame Officer in this one. Yeah, and then again, the cutscene with the one with the characters from Ul'dah did resonate with me. So if I had started a character of a certain race that started off with the other two nations, I probably would have done the same. So if I started out in the Pirate Nation, I would have chosen the Storm Officer. And the Serpent Officer, if I started off with them, I would have stayed with them. So yeah, that's my decision here. If I was given more free time to try out the other characters, maybe I would have been interested to see the way the story would have planned out. So again, I'm not gonna ramble, but just wanted to let you guys know if you're watching this live or watching this on a recording later on. So here we go. Let's do this. All right, we already read that one. Excellent. I fear that the incident with the traitor may have soured your opinion of us. It gladdens me to see that isn't the case. But before we can count you as one of our own, you must be formally inducted into our ranks. Please proceed to the Hall of Flames and identify yourself to the personal officer. I will notify him of your coming. With your strength joined to ours, we shall surely prevail over our enemies, be they beastmen or Imperials. So, can we speak to these characters? Does Minfield say anything of you chosen something? With the power you possess, there will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one man. Wait a minute, didn't we just read this one already? I'm gonna read it again anyway. In the midst of a grand company, however, you'll be one man amongst many, friends amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. Let's see what these characters have to say after a decision was made. Oh. Before you may take your place within our ranks, you must speak with the personal officer at the Hall of Flames. Yep. Pray do so at your earliest convenience. I, meanwhile, will bear word of your excellent decision to General Roban. Yeah, let's see what these characters have to say. So, you have decided to cast your lot with the Flames. Well, there is no help for it. Just remember that it's never too late to sign on with a different crew. I will not deny that I am disappointed, but I take comfort in the knowledge that individuals are permitted to transfer between grand companies. Know that the Order of the Twin Adder would be proud to have you, should you undergo a change of heart. Yeah, that would have been nice to go for a different path. It would have been nice. What brings you to the Hall of Flames this morning, adventurer? My name is EnioHabev. I believe you are expecting me. Ah, I thought as much. You are just as our man at the Waking Sands described. It is an honor to meet you, sir. Now, in order to formalize your... Sir! Speak, Private. The Imperials, sir. They've fired on a high-wind Skyways airship. Scouts say she's coming down to the west, near Horizon's edge. Bloody hells, of all the times for this to happen. Enio, there's no time for formalities. The Immortal Flames need your help, now! We're in the midst of a large-scale operation against the Amalja, and we have no one to spare in Western Townland. You must get to that ship before the Garleans do. If there are any survivors, see that they do not come to further harm. Now go! An adventurer? What are you doing out here? No, wait. Let's find some cover first. The Immortal Flame sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Are you alright, sir? Our scouts reported the attack on your craft. We come to rescue you. EnioHabev, yes? Glad to have you with us. That expression. I have not seen a craft of this design before. That traitor Garland has been busy. The secrets of magic are ours by right. They are not to be squandered upon the savages of this land. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must. And bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. They mean to take the ship back to Castrum Meridianum, along with your friend. Wedge, we have to help him. That fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. So, even if this game doesn't have a lot of cutscenes, the facial expressions and the hand gestures they do does go a long way. I like that. Again, that airship crewman character, the little facial expression actually made me chuckle and smile. So again, game, you're doing a great job with the story, in my opinion. Alright, let's continue. Nice. Nice looking ship. Though not the best place to have taken shelter, I agree. As if they had a choice. It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland. Well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. And she was soaring, she really was. Till those bastards blasted her out of the sky. We attack on my command, kill them quickly, and save the Lalafell if possible. Is that clear, Enio? Yep. Show them what becomes of those who play with fire. Charge! Alright, here we go. We are under attack. To arms! Almost got these guys. Oh, there we go. Got him. Not too bad. Biggs! Wedge! You should have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So, how's she look, anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications, and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts, but we can defend its position until the engineers leave. You should go, Enio. You still have unfinished business to attend at the Hall of Flames. You're not quite one of us yet, though anyone who's seen you in action today would be forgiven for thinking otherwise. I, just wanted to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously, though, if it hadn't been for you and the Immortal Flames lads there, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I mean, you're adept, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you. We are very grateful. Welcome back, Enio. Word of your deeds in the field reached me not long ago. Exemplary service. Rest assured that the Garland Ironworks engineers are fine. They were able to get their vessel back in the air before Imperial reinforcements arrived. Your willingness to assist us on such a short notice is to be commended. Clearly, your reputation is well deserved. Now then, I believe we have some unfinished business. Shall we continue from where we left off and induct you into the Immortal Flames? Are you ready, Enio? Then let us begin. EnioHabev, you stand poised to enter a sacred trust. The flames of Ul'dah burn bright, casting light where there is dark, and purging evil wheresoever it lurks. We are ever ready to meet the nation's enemies in battle, be they beastmen, Garlands, or worse. And at a word from Flame General Roban Aldine, we would gladly lay down our lives to maintain the peace and prosperity of Ul'dah. To join our ranks, you must forsake all other nations. Only then may you commit yourself to the fire and be reborn as an immortal flame. Burn as one of us, EnioHabev, and together we shall chase the darkness from Ul'dah. Will you swear an oath to mark this occasion? Well, let's go ahead with a straightforward one. My sword belongs to Ul'dah. Spoken like a soldier. You'll do well here. Very well. Your resolve is plain. EnioHabev, I hereby confer upon you the rank of Flame Private 3rd Class. Welcome to the Immortal Flames, Private. May you fight to the last for coin and country. Can you hear me, Enio? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Immortal Flames contacted me with news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private Habev. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask you that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a Flame of Ul'dah, you are no less a Scion. Pray return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. It seems your presence is required elsewhere. But before you leave, perhaps you could find a moment to speak with Commander Swift. He is not one to see new crews go into the field unprepared. Let's do it. Private Habev, yes. A moment of your time, if you please. You wish to carry out your duties swiftly, do you not? Well then, perhaps you should get yourself a chocobo. If you're interested, the Immortal Flames will furnish you with one. It's not a complex process, but it does require some paperwork. First, speak with the quartermaster to obtain a flame chocobo issuance. You'll need to exchange company seals in order to do so. Once you've received your issuance, show it to the Mimigun by the gate of Nald. He'll be the one to furnish you with a bird. Want a bird issued, you say? Then I'll need to see your flame chocobo issuance. Of course, you'll need to exchange flame seals for it. You can earn these by completing tasks for the Immortal Flames, Ul'dah's Grand Company. Oh, so you cannot do this until 14 hours later. Okay. Welcome back. It seems you wasted no time putting your skills to work. How do I know? Why, the recruitment officer called me to regale me with the tale of your heroics. The pride in his voice was palpable. We Scions are truly fortunate to have you with us, Enio. Now, when last we spoke, I said that I wanted to meet you. Now, when we last spoke, I said that I wanted to... Let me try that again. Now, when last we spoke, I said that I wanted you to meet some friends. Did I not? Well, I neglected to mention that you have already met. Tataru, please show them in. This way, sirs. Thanks again for getting us out of that. Thanks again for getting us out of that mess. We owe you our lives. But I don't think we properly introduce ourselves. I'm Biggs. And I'm... Gods, man, spit it out, will you?
Wedge, at your service.
I am pleased to say that Biggs and Wedge will be staying with us for a while. Magic-driven contraptions such as airships go ever more vital to the city-states of Erzia. As a neutral party, it was judged that we Scions should serve as the keepers of this technology. Of course, for this we needed the knowledge of experts, and so we requested the assistance of Garland Ironworks, who very kindly sent us 2 of their finest engineers. Our happy family continues to grow. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands.
Yay!
Like every soul here, I love Eorzea, and I count myself blessed to have been given this chance to stand with you all and fight for the future of the realm. Never have I known such fulfillment, such happiness. Now, having set aside the formalities, we have a favor to ask of you. Orianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldizion? I feel like deja vu now. I feel deja vu here right now. Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently. They have conducted the study at the behest of the Order of the Twin Adder. Papalumo, Ida, a synopsis, if you would. Our task was to survey the behavior of the Sylphs, a beast tribe indigenous to the Twelveswood. Oh, how to describe them? They look like Gizalgreens? Floating ones that worship the primal Ramu. Ahem. Though technically a beast tribe, Sylphs are blessed with a comparatively personable demeanor, conducive to peaceful communication, offering us an invaluable opportunity to learn what the beast tribe knows of the primals. While Ramu's existence is well documented, the Sylphs do not, or perhaps cannot, summon the primal any longer, insofar as can be ascertained, until such time as we know. It would be unwise to assume that the threat posed by the primal has passed, which leaves Gridania with the added worry of not knowing what they should be worrying about. In that regard, they are hardly alone. What we can say with absolute certainty is that Gridania has his hands full fending off Garuda, who I need hardly remind you is among the most savage and terrible of all known primals. In short, it is essential that we approach the Sylph in as diplomatic a manner as possible. Words and actions can be misconstrued. The only sure way to communicate our intentions is the echo. Winning the Sylph's favor may well bring us a step closer to mitigating the threat of the primals. Will you help us? I am grateful. Lovely. Well, as much as I'd like to help, I'm afraid I would be little of use to anyone in Gridania. A veritable babe in the woods. Ida and Papalumo, however, should be able to see the forest for the trees. Is that not so, Minfilia? Indeed. You are willing? Leave it to me. Us, Ida, us. We know far too little of the Sylphs to lay any wild plans. We must call upon the Scions once more if we are to... beg pardons. It's a terrible habit of mine to think aloud. But tell me, what brings you to the Adder's Nest? Until then, guys, thank you so much for your support, guys. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you.